a period of time ahead of us that is going to be a period of economic difficulty, social turmoil, turbulence, generally of hardship. And one of the things, you know, part of the grandiosity that I detect in the public discussion is that there seems to be an assumption that we're entitled to a smooth transition from where we are now to where we're going. And I wouldn't make that assumption at all. In fact, every time you go and watch a panel, you need to ask yourself, are these people assuming that we're just going to have an easy segue between where we are now and where we're going? Because we're not. The likelihood is it's going to be disorderly, and it's going to throw off a lot of sparks and heat and conflict. There's a tremendous amount of delusional thinking right now at every level of American society, including the smart people, the dumb people, all the people in between. But I saw a really amazing example of it when I was invited to the Google headquarters to give talk about energy. And the Google headquarters is tricked out like a kindergarten. You know, they have a lot of knock hockey sets and pool tables and video consoles and lucite boxes full of gummy bears, you know. So, and then the Google executives came into the auditorium, which was much like this one, and they were dressed like skateboard rats. They're wearing sideways hats. Their ass crack is showing. And I'm beginning to wonder, you know, we hear the term playful applied to corporations, but I'm thinking, you know, where does playful begin and infantile take over? So I did my talk about energy. It wasn't about Google at the time, it was about energy. And we did questions, and 17 different Google executives got up and said, like, dude, we have technology. Subtext, you're an asshole. We have technology. And I began to understand what was going on. You know, you take a whole cohort of executives at the highest level of American technological corporate enterprise and make them multimillionaires when they're 26 years old. And they start to develop a lot of grandiose ideas about technology. They begin to get the idea that just because they made $4 million moving pixels around the screen with a mouse, that they can solve all the problems and woes and sorrows of mankind by moving pixels around the screen with a mouse. These things are either going to run on liquid hydrocarbon fuels, or you're never going to fly out of Aspen again. And we need to understand, this is another complex system, by the way, you know, the aviation system. And by the way, it's been in the news all week. You know, flights interrupted, front page of USA Today, I think on Tuesday, saying that the airlines were under terrible stress from the price of the aviation fuel. These systems are probably not going to survive the disruptions ahead. We have no idea, you know, what the aviation industry is going to be like. It's probably going to be smaller. It's probably going to be an elite activity for a while, and then it may not exist at all. One of the biggest fantasies, and I think one of the primary fantasies operating here, is the idea that we're going to keep running this stuff on something other than fossil fuels. We're just going to plug it into, you know, something else. But I think, in my opinion, the truth is that no combination of alternative fuels or systems for running them is going to allow us to keep on running this stuff the way we're running it in America. We're not going to run the interstate highway system, Walmart, and Walt Disney World on any combination of solar, wind, biodiesel, ethanol, used French fried potato oil, or anything else you can name. And it's a fantasy, it's a dangerous fantasy to think that we can. And it's a dangerous fantasy to keep on focusing the way we do on running our cars by other means. We're going to use everything we possibly can, but I don't think that we understand. This is a question of scale. Most of these things are not going to scale. They're not going to scale to the degree that we're going to run the stuff we're running on these things. We are probably not going to build a lot of wind farms. That's a fantasy. If we use it, we'll probably use it on a household basis, or maybe a neighborhood or district basis. But I think we misunderstand the scale of what we're in for.